Okay, what sort of detrimental effects are we looking at? What would I, if I can throw? We were asked by compliance semester Sdn Bhd to look into the environmental aspects of the particular operations di Olah Lempeng. When we got the mining scheme from compliance semester, and the mining scheme essentially is the starting point untuk sebarang operasi, pengembangan pasir, is how the operations are going to be carried out. Now, with this mining scheme in hand, that's when we did what we call plan pengurusan alam sekitar untuk tapak Olah Lempeng. Plan pengurusan alam sekitar adalah laporan EMP yang dikatakan Environmental Management Plan. So with the mining scheme, we actually did the plan pengurusan alam sekitar ataupun EMP, dan of course with the site, with the lot yang telah ditetapkan, lot adalah 48 hektar lebih kurang. So dalam lot yang ditetapkan, kita telah menjalankan kajian. Now, kajian kami telah dilampirkan dalam laporan EMP ini yang telah kami serahkan kepada jawatan alam sekitar. Dan essentially, the EMP actually addresses how the operations identify what are the impacts yang terjana akibat operasi ini. That means we have to identify what are the possible impacts of these operations on the environment. And this we will actually look at three main aspects. Kita lihat dari segi biology, dari segi physical, dan juga dari segi social. So dari segi biology, we needed to look at how the existing flora, fauna dan vegetation will be impacted. Dari segi fizikal, kita kena lihat bagaimana hidrologi, that means bagaimana pengaliran air daripada kawasan tapak ni adalah mungkin akan menjejaskan ataupun tidak. Dan kita kena lihat dari segi sosial, ada tak any of these activities will be disturbing secara impact direct ataupun indirect kepada penduduk-penduduk persekitaran tapak projek ni. So that's why the EMP was formulated, telah diserahkan kepada jawatan yang berkenaan, dan kami telah pun mendapatkan penerimaan. Harus saya nyatakan di sini bahawa laporan ini sebenarnya telah disediakan 6 bulan sebelum kerja-kerja di tapak dijalankan. So data-data yang ada di dalam laporan ini adalah data yang kami kata kajian dasar. Jadi sebelum sebarang operasi di tapak, kita telah pun menjalankan kajian mengenai kualiti air, kualiti bumi, kualiti udara di kawasan-kawasan berkenaan, dan juga kajian-kajian yang lain. Okey, setakat itu untuk menyediakan laporan EMP tersebut, dan juga setelah kajian projek di tapak dijalankan dari bulan Januari tahun ini, 2010, laporan secara berkala, iaitu setiap bulan juga kami serahkan kepada pejabat yang berkenaan. So this is a continuous process. Laporan EMP ini merupakan suatu laporan di mana ia adalah living document. Apa yang dikatakan living document? Dia bukan dokumen yang statik, dia dokumen yang perlu dikemaskini, memandangkan sekiranya aktiviti-aktiviti di tapak adalah bertukar, dan juga adalah suatu di mana pemantauan adalah dijalankan secara berkala. So pemantauan mungkin 3 bulan sekali ataupun sebulan sekali. Di kawasan Olah Lempeng, pemantauan adalah sebulan sekali, dan ini telah dijalankan selama setakat ni dah 7 laporan lah. Dan bulan Julai ni will be the 7th report that's going out. So that is how the EMP works. And actually di tapak tu, kalau kita lihat, it's a dynamic site. Kalau kita pergi setiap bulan pun memang banyak changes, banyak pertukaran yang kami nampak di tapak. But we have to make sure that we are constantly in communication dengan pekerja-pekerja di tapak. Sekiranya ada sebarang ketidakpatuhan ataupun pemantauan ataupun observation, pemerhatian kami, sekiranya ada sebarang yang kami rasa akan menjanakan impak yang negatif, kita akan beri secara bertulis kepada kumpulan semester supaya langkah-langkah pembaik pilihan ataupun rektifikasi dapat dijalankan secepat mungkin. So that's how an EMP works, and that's how it's supposed to work. So you need to have you need to use the monitoring data as a tool in your reporting and your observation, apart from doing site observation. Ya. That means yang menjalankan pemantauan secara first hand. As numbers have been bandied around, yeah. The recommendations are there for buffer zones, but you have to understand, mining operations there's actually the party involved in giving an approval for the mining scheme is Jabatan Mineral and Geoscience. Yeah? So environment, Jabatan Alam Sekitar actually looks at with issues related to the environmental control within the site. Now, in terms of 50 meters, that is a buffer that they feel would be recommended. Yeah, there is no actual law. It's actually a guideline that we are following at the moment. Yeah, so you've got to get the terminology like law means there's a legal requirement. For a legal requirement, there's no legal requirement for buffer. Yeah, so this is a guideline for good environmental practice.
So what are we? So right now the buffer starts from the water edge. How far is it?
For now, based on actual measurement at the site, we've got about 30 meters from the water edge to the pit. The pit means where the active mining is taking place.
No, the edge of the pit, at the top of the pit.
At the top of the pit, yeah, that's the edge. And then from there, there's the water element, yeah. So because part of this operations is actually the water, the land, yeah, and Paya Indah wetlands. So you've got these three portions, yeah. So you've got to see whether the 50 meters is from where the boundary is, which is Paya Indah wetlands, to the active sand mining operations or to the boundary of the site.
According to the EMP initially, what was recommended on the zone?
Actually, the EMP looked at what is being operated now. That is where the operations is, and that's where all the approvals have been given. But we are in the process, basically, of, like I said, an EMP is a living document. If we do find that there is any form of adverse impact on the surrounding, yeah, not necessarily just at Paya Indah, in all other surrounding areas to the site, because the site also drains downstream. Okay, it drains actually towards the south. Yeah, it doesn't drain towards Paya Indah wetlands. It drains towards the south. It's going out of the site. Going into Sungai Langat, yeah. So we've got to make sure that if there is any problem, then this has got to be reviewed. So like I said, it is not a hard and fast rule. It is a continuously, I would say, a continuously improving kind of situation, which we need to look at. So if we feel that present operations has got any adverse impact, we will need to study it, we will need to make the reviews, and we will need to implement it on site. That's how an EMP works.
She mentioned also that there were corrective measures put in place or will be put in place. What are some measures?
Well, there are already some measures in place which we have been monitoring for the last 6 months, but additional measures which we are looking at, essentially at the site, based on our recommendations and based on several site visits that we've been having, is essentially making good on the I'm trying not to use very technical terms, yeah? The overburden, that means the material that's taken out from the top of the pit, yeah? To manage that in a better way. That means in a more proper way, yeah? So that's one of the additional measures that we're looking at. The other additional measure that we're looking at is to add filtration method to any form of discharges within the project site into the surrounding ponds. Yeah, even though at the moment the water quality actually is within the recommended limits. And the other aspect that we're looking at is increasing the height of the bund that's being used to retain the silt. Yeah, so this is to increase the holding capacity of what we call the silt pond. Yeah.